If you're a busy mom in your 40s who's tried everything running, spinning, Pilates, even the latest diet trends, and you're still not seeing results, this story is for you. Meet our client Ashley, a mom of three, a full time marketing executive, and like so many of us, stuck, exhausted, and wondering why the old strategies stop working. In this video today, you'll hear how she finally broke through the plateau, fixed her sleep, found her energy again, and got stronger, all without having to give up her favorite foods or adding more chaos to her life. Stick around to see her incredible transformation because it's about more than just having ripped abs.
My name is Ashley. I'm 44. I have three kids. I have an almost 15-year-old son, and then I have two daughters, a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. So pretty busy. I am a marketing director in packaged goods industry, so I'm around food all the time. Good, yummy, delicious things. But I'm at my desk more often than not,
Yeah,
or in a meeting room. I am sitting all day, and just trying to balance it all.
I know.
Trying to
Oh,
find a
that's
way to do it all, right?
three
As we
kids.
all
God,
are.
that's a lot. That's a lot. So my first question always is, what was your life like before you joined the program?
So I'd say since I had kids, I've always been pretty active. I got into running just before I had my oldest. But like 5K, like that was it. Like 30 minutes out of the house max, like that was all I had time for, had the bandwidth for. And then, three kids later, you're just, you're in the thick of things. And so I've always been, I'd say active, but I'd say as I started to sort of hit my 40s, the things that worked, that kept me sort of in the place that I wanted to be in stopped working the same way. And so then you're like, okay, well, what do I need to do different? And then I started lifting weights a little bit. I just started dabbling in a bunch of things. I started spinning in COVID. I got a Peloton. The things like worked for a while, but it wasn't what I wanted. And it felt like trying to, I felt like I was putting in too much time to not get the results that I should get, that I wanted to get. And so I sort of just hit that sort of breaking point of like, okay, like if you keep doing the same thing and getting the same results, you got to do something different. And so I was
Right.
really wanting that change in terms of I need to do something different because I'm not happy with where I'm at, and I wanted to feel good about the time that I was investing, not just in
Mm-hmm.
like the exercise and sort of the physical side, but the mental side too, and sort of that holistic balance because life is crazy and chaotic, and that for me is sort of me time. And so I do
Yeah,
look forward to that, but I also want to get something out of that as well.
100%. I would love to know because you said something that I think a lot of women go through
Mhm,
when you entered your 40s.
mhm.
Like, what shifted?
My sleep was a big one. That all of a sudden, like this 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, sort of middle of the night interrupted, like new normal that was this in just lack of quality sleep. And I thought that sort of interrupting piece was a big sort of drain. And then you turn the clock, don't look at the clock, don't look at the clock. How many more hours? When do I have to wake up? And like we start playing those mind games and it's so bad for
Right.
you. And don't pick up your phone because as soon as you turn your phone on, then like, it all goes downhill. But in my body, I'd say clothes still fit, but clothes felt different. And that was the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Like the things that you bought that you felt good in, it wasn't that they didn't fit, they just didn't fit the same. And, I talked to see my family doctor once a year and, had those conversations. And she's like, oh, it's just age, and this is normal and this is what's to be expected. There's nothing you can really do. And I didn't buy that in terms of
Mhm.
there's got to be a better way than just sort of accepting defeat in terms of
Yeah.
like you have no choice but to live with sort of this
And
new normal.
yeah, and what led you into, first of all, how did you find us? I don't even know this,
Oh,
but like what led you into the path of like, okay, I need structure, I need something different.
So somebody else who was in the program, who I've known for a number of years, who I follow on social, was sharing. It was Sari, and so I had seen her posting, and I had seen her in the neighborhood, and she looked fantastic. And I was just sort of saw in her stories and sort of her journey, and I actually reached out to her first to say, hey, I need more information. What's this like? And so she was super helpful in giving me some background there, and it felt like the right sort of fit for me and what I was looking for. And then I reached out to you and Chris and I had a really nice long chat, and that I guess was the introductory sort of call. And you sort of feel like heard and seen for a second, like because he's feeding back all the things that you're like, yeah, 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 like how did you know so much about me? And
He
right?
lived with one.
Right.
He lives with one. We're all going through the same
Exactly,
thing.
exactly. So it was really great in that respect in terms of just sort of getting that understanding of what sort of Fulbright could look like and how good it could be. And it, at first I was like, well, how many workouts a week? And you're sort of just nervous about, will I have the time for this? And at the time, I guess it was just at the end of last year, beginning of this year, things couldn't have been crazier. Work was busy, family's busy, all the commitments, there was travel, there was, meetings and dance competitions and hockey, all the things, right? We all have all the
Mhm.
things.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think there was any better time than in chaos to start because if you can
There's
make the
never,
time and schedule
right.
and find the time and fit it in that circumstance, there's no excuse when things are,
There's no excuse. And
when
that's
there's a
the thing.
lull.
It's like we all live these busy,
Yes.
busy lives. And I hear this a lot for clients. Like, I don't have time. I don't have time. Make time. You have to make time. It's you're in charge of your environment. You're in charge of
Mhm.
everything. You've built this life for yourself. It's all on you.
Exactly.
So you have to figure out how to fit it in. Okay, so what did this program do for you to put you on track?
I think the big thing was I'd say the big thing was it was all the things, right? It was all the things together. I think the nutrition side of it um, was a huge shift for me because I thought beforehand I was doing the right. Not that I thought I was doing the right things. It felt right, right? Had a decent breakfast. I was a I was a breakfast person. It was like yogurt or cottage cheese. I was on the cottage cheese train like since I was
Oh
a
yeah.
child. So it was always like cottage cheese and fruit, or I'd blend it and drive with it and have it as a smoothie. I have a big salad for lunch, and I'd have some protein in it. Clearly, what I've learned looking back is I was not eating nearly enough. I'd have a good dinner, and then post dinner, it was like that's where the thing sort of,
Oh
went
yeah.
off the rails. And what I've found through the sort of the nutrition coaching in that piece was that I think, candidly, I was starving all day. And then, no doubt, by the time you get to dinner and you have like a good solid meal, you're like, oh, your body's screaming at you, like, no, wait, we want more. And
Yeah.
that's why I was sort of, the post dinner, like the snacking and whatnot, was sort of creeping in a little more than it should have. And now I find I'm not even hungry in the same way. Like, it's totally shifted. I was definitely not eating enough protein before. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm eating much more, but I wasn't eating nearly enough to
Yeah,
start.
that's the
And I
story of every woman's life.
right? And I wasn't giving my body what it needed to do the things I was asking of it all day, right?
I love that. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
Sherry was your coach.
Yes.
I'd love to hear about your experience with her. How was it?
So Sherry's great. Sherry's fantastic. It's funny, really, really early on, and I guess those first 2 weeks when you're sort of resetting and going back on sugar, that was a big thing for me. And I work in food and there's product tastings and and that's just a natural part of my days, not in all the time, but it's a sometimes. And in that first 2 weeks, I know I had a meeting and I was talking to her about it and I was like trying to figure out in my head how I'm going to navigate this. And she goes, you're not in a food prison, She's like, do what you need to do and just keep moving. And it was such a liberating statement and it resonates so much and it sort of like rings in my head. Like it's not about you can't and you must. It's making the right choices more often so that the little ones are just blips as opposed to the other way around where the sort of the healthier sort of right way of eating is the blip.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so powerful to understand because we always seek perfection
Mhm.
as women. In every aspect of our life,
Mhm.
we have to be the ones that show up and do it right.
Yes.
Right? So even when it comes to nutrition, and that's the struggle. It's like if you've had a bowl of ice cream, like it's okay. You're human. You
Yeah.
have moments. Just let it go, get back on the horse and keep going, right? That's where majority of people just really screw themselves.
Yeah, I think the notion of, oh, I've had this, therefore the rest of the day I've ruined it.
Exactly.
The I've ruined it mentality
Yeah.
and not letting that creep in and not letting that be a factor at all. It's okay. So you did this thing, and then you're just gonna keep doing the things. That's just one part of your day.
I love
Um,
that. I'm going to use that
yeah.
now. Food prison. You're not in food prison.
Oh, full credit to Sherry. I take zero credit for that. That was all her, but it's so true. It really was so, so true and so powerful to say that, what was the expression we were using? I was like, you're not gonna go wild raccoon the whole rest of your day, right? somebody living in the city, I can fully appreciate what
Love
that looks
that. Oh
like,
my
right?
God.
But yeah, no, but it's true. And I think that was the mentality that I struggled with, was that sort of all or nothing. And so having that power to say, okay, I'm going to do the thing that I need to do, and that's totally fine. And then I'm going to keep doing the
Mhm.
things that I need to do for me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So how has this whole experience, like, how has it changed your life?
Well, I stopped working out early in the mornings when my kids hit a certain age, and then COVID just shifted that, and now I'm back to the like get up, get working out, check it off. And I honestly, I find, and I think I've heard this from others, once you start working out again in the mornings that I take off, like the days that I'm off, I miss it. I
Oh
really
yeah,
miss it. I really do enjoy getting up and getting moving. And even on the, even like say, even the days you don't want to do it, you still want to do it.
right.
And you do, I wake up before my alarm. It's funny. My husband at the beginning, I was waking him up with my alarm, and now my body just goes. Like I beat
Yep.
my alarm up, not by much, but just my body's just like, okay, we're going.
You're
Um,
you're you're in that circadian rhythm now. You're
exactly,
moving properly, right? Which is
exactly.
beautiful.
And
That's great. No,
on the flip side,
I
my body sort of self-destructs at the end of the day. Like you hit that 9 o'clock, 9:30, and your body's
oh
like, and we're powering.
yeah, and go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm in bed at night. Like nothing brings me more joy than to be in bed. I do all my like face stuff. I tape my face. I sit with my like book. I journal, and it's I don't know. I always sometimes giggle at myself because the old me would have been like, "Who's going out? I should meet someone for a drink." And it was like, no, I love this. I love being in bed
I
early.
love
It
it.
feels good.
I love that you said going out for a drink. I actually, that's a big change that I noticed too. I wasn't a big drinker, but socially I'd have a drink.
Yeah.
I find that I'm so much more aware of how my body reacts to alcohol now,
Oh
that I
God, yeah.
don't want it because I don't want tomorrow. I want the better sleep. I want to feel fresh tomorrow. That I have to either really want the drink, want whatever it is. Still
Yeah.
do, but it's more of a saved experience as opposed to, I'd say that
Yeah.
sure, why not? Yeah, I don't feel the need to just feels like empty
Doesn't
calories.
do anything
And
for
I'm
you. It
trading
feels
empty calories for a crappy sleep, right?
right.
And do I really
Right.
want that? Do I really want that? And so I'm much more particular now about that.
Right. Whereas in, yeah, same here. Like I'm very particular. Even sometimes when I go out with friends, I don't drink anymore because I'm like I kind of gauge the mood and I'm like, well, I'm already having fun and I'm having
Yeah.
conversations, so I don't need to drink. So I just do soda water and lime.
Yeah.
They think I'm having a vodka soda. They don't need to know. I always tell people because people get really nervous around their friends when they're not drinking. They feel like they're being judged. It's funny because alcohol is the only I call it drug that people judge you for not taking.
And I feel
It's worse
people
than
are
drugs, actually.
afraid that you're not going to have as much fun because you're
Or they're
not.
afraid you're going to judge them,
Yeah.
or they're afraid you're going to be the sober one that's like going to judge them, right? So I always tell people if someone hands you a drink, take it, put it down. If someone asks you what you're drinking, vodka soda, like nobody needs to know. Let them feel comfortable around
Mhm.
you, and you do you,
Yeah.
right? It's a powerful one when you stop drinking alcohol, 100%. So how do you feel now, and how do you feel like how is doing this program, and you've stayed on obviously, how is it impacting your day to day?
I just feel like
How's your energy level?
well, that's just it. Like the energy level, I'd say, has been the big game. Like I said, the sleep, the energy level, and I think they go hand in hand, obviously. The better you're sleeping, the more energy you're going to have, and the more you're able to sort of get through sort of your commitments in your day and do it in the best way possible. I'd say I just feel really good. I feel good in my skin. I feel good in terms of keeping up with my kids, keeping up with sort of the day-to-day things that I need to do. And it was a good time when I felt that when I started, because I started in the winter, that now as the
Yep.
weather is changing and you're sort of in this rhythm and this habit, now I'm like, okay, I need to take a walk. Like lunch, like I'll be at if I'm working from home and I'm sitting at my desk all day, like I crave, I'm like, I just need steps, not because I need to hit a number or I need to close a ring, but I want to get outside. I want the fresh air. I want some movement. And so it's just been something that I've become very aware of, that
Yeah.
it's not a competition, it's not something that it's being tracked, but it's more just I need it, and it feels like it's more fulfilling than a requirement,
Right.
which I think is really, it's a really big shift in terms of I'm doing this for me versus I'm doing this because chasing a number on a
Okay,
scale.
for today. Yeah,
Yeah.
to look a certain
Yes.
way. I think that's a really powerful mind shift that happens for people
Mhm.
when they're on this journey. It's like they realize feeling good
Mhm.
is a lot more important than being skinny,
Yeah, it's
right?
funny in this next phase that I'm at. Sherry had asked me, she's like, "What's the goal weight?" I was like, "I don't even know." Like, I'm not. There's no number. I'm not chasing a number at this point because we were just talking about um, sort of percentages and food plan and how that's going to look. And she asked me about the goal, and I was like, "I just want to feel really good. Like, I just
Yeah,
want to feel really good." And so,
yeah,
like, the number was irrelevant. I'm like, I'll throw a number in there, but the number is not what I'm chasing.
yeah.
The numbers
Well,
and benefit.
yeah, your before and afters, like my jaw dropped.
Oh, did
I say
mine.
this all the time, but I was like, damn, look at her abs. Like, I don't even have abs like that. But when you look at those pictures, like your before and after, what comes up for you?
Well, the irony is when I took that after picture, I remember taking it thinking to myself, oh my God, is there actually any change? Like, what's going, like, I was like uncomfortable taking that picture because I didn't in my head even think I had come as far as I did. And then when you look at them, you're like, oh my God. Like you said, like, I have never had abs. I have never had a tight stomach. Like that's just not me. It's just not in my body type. And so to have that all of a sudden, you're like, wow, like, and you hear things like, abs are born in the kitchen, they're not born in the gym, and it's like a sort of a whole package kind of thing, and I fully believe that because it's not just the exercise, but it's the whole sort of piece together, the
Right.
different eating, the consistency, sort of the resistance training, all of it together.
Yeah, and the knowledge, right? I find there's always so much fear around food. People, women are always, is this enough? Am I eating? Is this right? And
Mhm.
it's like once that fear is gone and you have clarity with food, because food, let's be honest, exercise is easy,
Yes.
right? You can train yourself, get up and do it. It's laid out for you. Food is a tricky one because people just don't know, right? And I'm a big believer that knowledge is power. Like we're not here to give you you know, here's a bunch of recipes, go make them and
Mhm.
you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
It's like really we have to figure out together what fits into your life, right? What do you like to eat? Where do you go out a lot? Do you travel? Like we need to figure all that out so you're always set up for success.
Before starting, and it's funny, you're sort of looking for that. I don't want to say quick fix because that's not the right word, but you want somebody to lay it out for you. Like, what am I supposed to be eating, for the next 7 meals? And what does perfect look like? What does ideal look like? And I remember trying to think like, what do I need to buy that I don't already have on hand, and what should I be planning for? And you play those mind games, and then all of a sudden you realize the things that you're doing, for the most part, 70%, 80% are actually perfectly fine, and it's
Yeah,
small tweaks, and I'm still making for the most part the same meals. I'm making my plate a little bit differently. I mean, I've got 3 kids and everybody eats differently, and I'm married, and so like there's 5 of us around the table and everybody has a very different sort of want at a meal, and it was really freeing to understand actually I can still make the same meals. I need more of this, and my plate, pasta's a big fan. Like everybody loves pasta in my house, especially with a vegetarian. And so, and I love pasta. That's my weakness.
everybody does.
And you're thinking, okay, we can't do this anymore. Well, no, we can, but I'm gonna have a piece of fish with it, or I'm gonna have a piece of chicken with it, and I'm still gonna have my pasta, but it's not gonna be sort of the main event. It's gonna be the small, yeah, exactly, and find the balance there. And so, still making the same things, just plating it differently, was sort of the big unlock. That it's not one meal that you need to make that's different. It's sort of all the little things that add up, and you're doing most of them to begin with. You just need those sort of smaller tweaks.
Yeah, and it's all about at the end of the day, ultimately, it's all
Mhm.
about consistency, what
Yes.
you can keep doing every single day
Mhm.
that's not going to change because results come,
Mhm.
but it's just keeping those results that's really difficult. So
Yeah.
when you find something that fits within your life,
Mhm.
then it's a lot easier. It's not restrictive,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, I love that.
Exactly.
Okay, my final question to you is if someone was sitting on the fence for
Mhm.
taking this program, whether it's financial or they're not sure, like what piece of advice would you give them?
Oh, do it. Jump. Do it, and you don't look back. It was a couple things. I said it to Chris, I think a couple weeks in, was that the big realization for me wasn't so much the exercise or that piece. It was that it was the food first and foremost. It was the food, and really realizing that I was filling my body, I wasn't fueling my body. And that sort of realization that you're sort of chasing those sugar high, not sugar high, is that
Yeah.
the right word?
That's
But like you look at your day and where you're sort of and you're crashing and you're crashing and you're crashing and you need. And when you start to really understand what you need to keep going at a, I'd say a sustained energy level and being able to do all the things. And I mean, water was huge for me, right? I wasn't a big water drinker. Now I'm drinking water again, and you realize like, oh, I must have been like chronically dehydrated. Like I don't know how
yeah.
my body was doing what it needed to do without that. You sort of realize all these pieces. But I think looking at it all holistically, it's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle shift. And I think knowing that, yeah, yes, will you see results? I mean, 100% you saw results. Right? Like it was sort of mind blowing the amount of results you can see by putting in the work and being consistent, but it's not overwhelming. It really is these small shifts that add up to really big change. And none of them in isolation are huge. They're all these little things, but it's just stacking all these little things together that gets you this sort of, 1 + 1 = 3 kind of um,
Yeah.
mentality that you just get these really big wins, your sleep, your
Yeah.
energy, your mobility. Like I want to be older and be like, I joke, well, what's my goal? My goal is to take one trip from the trunk to the house with all my groceries, right? I'm not going back. I want all the groceries on my arms. I want to take one trip, right? Like it's not like how much I want to lift. I just want to be able to do the things that I need to do and do them well, and do them without pain and with strength and continue to sort of live the life that I want to live for myself, for my own health and well-being, and for my kids. And so if I'd say to somebody who's on the fence, if it's just about it's sort of a look and feel thing, and it's not just a flash in the pan, right? It really is this is sustainable sort of small little habit changes that will add up to something much bigger. And it's not hard. It really isn't hard. It's not, things, it's still Whole Foods and your fridge is your fridge is the same. You're still shopping the perimeter and you're still doing all the things that you're always doing, and just making small tweaks.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. Yes or no? Was it
Yes.
worth the investment?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'm still
Okay, that's
here.
it. You're
I'm
still
still
here. I
going.
can't. I'm like, I don't know where you're going to be in a year. I'm
I know.
like very excited for you. It's incredible what you've done in such a short period of time,
The
right?
irony was I said to myself, 8 weeks, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to do this first phase. And then it was like 8 weeks isn't enough to build this, I want to say the sustainable habits. And then I
Yeah.
wanted more. I needed more
Yeah.
to really sort of cement this into lifestyle as opposed to just a quick fix.
Well, listen, I think the most important thing for me, and when Chris and I built this
Hmm.
program, built it for me because
Hmm.
I had tried everything and
Hmm.
I was so frustrated. And I always, the things that were important to me was human
Hmm.
connection. I wanted somebody to be able to talk to if I was confused or had a question,
Yeah.
right? Wanted structure when it
Yep.
came to my workouts. I didn't want to go do random classes here and there, which I couldn't gauge my
Hmm.
progress, right? Those two things are really important. And it's like, you don't have to think. Us women, we spent most of our days like thinking and
Yeah.
like being there for other people and working. And it's like, at least when it comes to your workouts, you just want to get up, turn on the
Yeah.
TV or the
Yeah.
computer and do your workout. And it's like a program that's planned. It's easy, right?
What I love about the programs, frankly, well, one, they're so much fun. The two of you are hysterical together. I love it. The videos the workouts are fantastic. I definitely far from bored. The music's great. The energy is amazing. I mean, that's the energy you want at, 6 in the morning in your basement when you're by
Yeah,
yourself in the dark and the cold, in a cold winter morning, to drag you out. But no, I think it's been great. I think just the sort of freedom to know that you're already doing most of it and just keep stacking those small habits on top of each other,
right,
is what's
right,
really going to make the difference. It's not the one meal, the one, like you said, it's not the one glass of wine or
right.
the one big, night out. It's what are you doing the rest of the time? What's the other
Yeah,
95% look like? And staying consistent for me, right? Like I want the good workout in the morning. I need the good night's sleep to be able to do it. I need the good night's sleep not just to do the workout, but to do the rest of the day that follows and the chaos that
right.
follows. And so how do you put you first? And you talked about making the time. It goes in my calendar. Like I find the day, like I pick the days, I know the days I'm going to work out. It goes in my schedule, whether mostly mornings. Sometimes it's, later in the day, in the evening if I can't make it work. But I'd say 90% of the time it's like, no, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work backwards and I'm going to fit it in and I'm going to know where it's going. And then there's no excuses. I don't miss meetings,
Love it.
right?
I love it.
Right? You don't miss
Right.
meetings that are in your calendar for others. So why am I missing the meeting in my calendar for me?
I love that. I think
And
that's such a great strategy.
right.
That's really awesome. Really awesome. If this video resonated with you and you are curious about coaching, hit the link in our bio to learn more.